Remember, the painting isn't real. Nothing can hurt you. Whatever's scaring you is just an illusion.
This guy was sitting mere feet away from Konstantin Kisin during his debate with Destiny. When you hear what he has to say, it is scary to think how this could have gone.
I was like fucking locked onto his eyes, and he kept like glancing down at me and then like breaking eye contact. Because I fucking hate the guy. I was just like, I wanted to kill him.
I stumbled upon this stream when I was just trying to research and understand the opposing view, and I was shocked by some of the things this guy was saying. Keep in mind, this guy was sitting in Konstantin's eye line.
I think he got distracted by that and didn't pay attention to a single thing.
What I think that, yes, it is just talk, but there is something more disturbing beneath the surface here. Okay. He's openly talking about wanting to assassinate Konstantin. This could have gone very differently. He even has a box cutter or X-Acto knife.
Which I should have done. Stanley Blades just fucking sprinted up onto the stage, slash Konstantin in that fucking jugular.
But he wants to kill him.
What the fuck is wrong with him?
You can see the chat. They're all thinking the same.
What the hell is wrong with them?
No one seems to be bothered by this because it has become so commonplace.
Yeah.
He knows he can do this. YouTube's not going to do anything.
Done. Sorted. Prison forever on the one hand. Prison forever on the one hand. And then I should have gone. Then I should have gone. Woke jihad. Woke jihad. I shouldn't have gone for the white race or something, hadn't I?
The thing is that I think that there's a lot of people who have intrusive thoughts like that, but it's very different when you have a person verbalizing them inside of a community that is telling them that their intrusive thoughts are good. I think that's a massive, massive difference.
Say, oh, okay, well, he just worded that poorly. It's
On
just an
camera,
that
yeah.
He takes this much farther.
Wait,
then
what?
He gets into, based on what happened to Charlie Kirk, this is what I have learned when it comes to how to kill conservatives.
No, I feel like my genuine psychopath thought that I've learned from the Charlie Kirk killing is if you are going to assassinate a political target, then try to reduce the gore as much as possible so people can't sympathise with the bastard who's getting it. So you'd have to go up with like a cape, like cover him in a cape and do it cleanly after that, you know. Like a...
What, like a Reaper
What do you think?
ult
Looks
in
pretty cool, eh?
Overwatch?
I don't know why I got no chat up over here.
What? What are you
It does not
talking about?
show any chat.
That doesn't even make sense. It's so stupid.
Like an abattoir.
So he's literally openly talking about assassinating political targets here. So the question is, well, why? That's what I wanted
Because
to
he's
understand.
mad,
That's
just
why
like
I
him.
take the time to
That's
even look
pretty
at these
obvious.
streams.
It's all like dog whistling. We need to secure a future for the white people.
Yeah. He makes it very clear. His belief is Konstantin is a racist.
And all it is appealing or dog whistling to the stupidest voters, like the dumbest 10% of people.
Yeah.
Who happen to be racist as well. Stick up for racism.
Then he talks about the real problem here is the weak white culture of the UK.
We simply don't have the white people stepping up and educating themselves in the right kinds of ways because of culture issues, I guess, because of the weak white culture.
He is the very thing he thinks he is fighting against.
Yeah.
His entire analysis of
This is the hyper-moralization of politics. They dehumanize their opponents so they're able to morally justify violence against them. I think that that's also a really big component to it, but I think that this is happening all over the internet. Like, somewhere along the line, it became acceptable to effectively,
Right.
send death
Almost time to
threats.
start.
And there's
putting
never
those
really any
pieces in here.
consequences for this anymore. which is what I think is really so surprising. Like, you would expect to see somebody like this that, like they get banned or, they have, like, I mean, in my opinion, I think people like this need to be put in a mental institution. Like, you can't have a functioning society with people that are advocating to kill everybody else that they disagree with. You just can't, you can't have that. Like, I mean, and again, like, the thing is that it's built on this premise that these people will never act on this behavior. Most of them
it's going to end up looking like
do you want to live next to one of these people? Do you want one of these people to be feeling that way about you? I don't think that they do.
Life is finally paying off your deck. Then having to help pay for theirs. A Sun Life advisor can help you plan so their dreams don't dim yours. Talk to us about your insurance and investments.
Back office tasks taking too much time. All the shift swaps, scheduling mishaps, and messy communication can keep you tied to your desk instead of building a successful business. Don't worry, at When I Work, we've got your back. Office. Let the easy-to-use software help you build the schedule in minutes, handle shift swaps for you, and manage timesheets quickly. Get scheduling done. Get time tracking done. Get shifts done with When I Work.
This is just a test fitting.
Intrusive thoughts does this. Someone,
go in.
I think everybody has intrusive thoughts, but
so far,
the problem is that a person who's willing to verbalize them and then talk about them and then legitimize them in front of an audience of people while they're broadcasting it, that's a person who has a profound lack of decision-making capabilities. Like, their decision-making is impaired. And I think that's really what's happening here. And that's what makes them dangerous.
Now we got
ideas or self-control.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not
finish up the rear deck here.
And he uses those ideas as justification.
Based on these fucking ideas,
the bomb bay.
For the green candidate, you
that's more racks they got to fit inside there.
Slap, slap, slap.
See what we're doing here. Doing
This
piece by piece.
Into this mentality.
Finishing each section of floor.
People like this. It's important to understand. It's important to see.
It's
got
not
some
complicated.
details
They
I
just
got
want
to
to
paint
attack
in on
people
there
and kill
now as
people
well.
that they disagree with.
Get to
It's
that.
really not complicated at all.
All right.
It's super simple.
So far as the fit is looking okay.
A lot of this would be much easier to manage if we go on that stage, grab his fucking lapels, right? Hit, fucking dip on, bang, right over. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about right over my head.
Yeah.
Right over my head. We've got his fucking cup.
Is this guy that bad?
Even if you disagree with Constantine, how could what he's saying upset you this much?
Because they're mentally ill. The people that behave this way are not mental. Like, you can't treat them the same as you would treat a reasonable person. This person is not reasonable. You can't reason a person out of a position they didn't reason themselves into. So you can't explain and rationalize why this person is doing something because there's no rationality to begin with. This is like, well, why did the pit bull attack the baby? It's a fucking dog. What do you mean? It's what they do.
All right, let's lock it in.
You're right. Burn the lapels, fucking hoof.
Yeah.
His whole body just goes, gosh, into the fucking wood. That's what I'm saying.
People will claim this guy doesn't have a massive reputation. Okay, but we see these same ideas reflected at a higher level.
Well, the thing is that violence and the advocation of violence has been completely normalized. And I think the best example you can use for that is you can look at the Tesla bombings, and you can even see
fits
now,
together
like, look at
so
the amount of
tight.
people that, like, that Thailand ship, right? Like, there was the one that got attacked in the Strait of Hormuz. Look at how many leftists did not condemn Iran for attacking a ship that had nothing to do with the war.
I wish I had a chat.
These were civilians on a civilian ship carrying, as far as I know, either no supplies or civilian supplies. And the ship is not correlated or associated at all with either one of the parties that are in the conflict. Everybody with any sort of a basic moral compass should be able to look at that and say, yeah, I don't think that you should be supporting that. That's really bad that Iran attacked the ship.
Look at that.
They don't do that.
All right.
And why is that?
Bombay is finished.
It's because they agree with what's happening. the reason why.
Just yesterday, I stumbled on a stream where Destiny's head moderator is trying to talk to Destiny because he is concerned, because he is seeing too many calls for violence in their Discord server, and he's beginning to worry that people aren't actually joking.
Yesterday, I think Destiny referred to it as like kind of school shooter vibes going on, as far as how people are talking in a way that makes people think that like not just radical and like
look like.
I'm so tired of people saying like, well, Trump did radicalize me. You should be radical under Trump. I'm talking about radical as in like.
What do you guys think? What do you think of the idea of putting some lights in here?
Trump doesn't make you like shoot up a random peaceful protest.
Do all this work on the interior.
Like
cover it all up.
People systematically. It's just crazy.
Ain't peeking through the windows.
That's just people excusing
not the
their behavior,
same.
looking for something that's going to give them a moral out.
I am considering the idea of
in a way that isn't what everybody thinks it is, kind of way. And I know like your argument is like, well, people like Trump and things like that, like they can say this stuff openly, and like I completely understand that argument. My argument is that people aren't taking this serious, and if they are taking it serious and they are meaning the words that they're saying and they're not joking, that is the problem.
Well, the thing is also that they're also advocating for Trump to get put in jail, and these are people advocating to shoot Trump and stuff like that. So it's not like there's even any sort of consistency with them either. Like
we're gonna have to go
also
down this
advocating
whole
for
thing
violence
bit by
against the
bit.
people that they
Put it
disagree
together.
with anyway. So the real problem is that, and I don't even think this has anything to do with Destiny, right? It's just people on the internet, is that people on the internet think that this is something that's acceptable. And the reason why they think it's something that's acceptable is because it's become accepted. That's the reason why. Why does everyone watch this? I mean, it also doesn't make you violate human rights either. It's crazy people say Trump radicalized them seriously.
Lots of
Well,
tits.
he made them mad.
Lots of
that's
test
it. There's
fitting.
a lot of things that radicalize them. Who's they, though? People on the internet? What are you talking about? And also, like, and here's the other issue is that, so there's a permission system that exists on the internet,
we're on to this
and it
rear
exists
deck.
in media that enables these people to perform these actions. And I'll use an example recently of how that permission
The thing is that
structure
there's lots of stuff that goes on this
manifested.
wall.
So if you look at the bombers, the two people that threw the bombs at Jake Lang,
this wall.
and then in front of like
This wall.
Mandami's house because he was a anti-Islam protester, and then they yelled Allah Akbar. So the first thing that you saw happen is that on the internet, you had a bunch of anonymous accounts that were gassing up these terrorists, saying that they were sad the bombs.
They've already got all these pieces
then
off.
after that, you have bigger influencers, basically framing the entire conversation around Jake Lang bringing this on himself and about how bad he is and about how they don't feel sorry for him. Then after that, you have the media that reframes. Like basically they do a, English sleight of hand where they call the bombers activists and then they say the bombing happened in front of Mandami's home. And so it implies based off of the title that it's actually them bombing Mandami's home because he's a Muslim, but it's actually Muslims throwing a bomb at somebody for protesting against Muslims. And so then that happens. And then on top of that, then you have CNN anchors that go on the media and they go on the news and they say, well, terrorist things happen and yeah, this is bad, but like, you can't condemn all Muslims. And it's like, nobody's even talking about that. Nobody's saying that. And so you have this entire permission structure that's created to rationalize and then also normalize this violence. And most important, protect the violence and lionize or in one way or another, basically kind of appreciate it. I think that's a good way to say it. People appreciate the violence. And so that's really what happened. Same with George Floyd protests. Well, George Floyd was a little bit different than this, right? But they pledged allegiance to ISIS during arrest. Yes, exactly. Mandami lied and said it was a Muslim supremacist or white supremacist. Well, I mean, like, I don't care about like what he was saying about Jake Lang, but like what I'm saying is there's and then of course Zoran Mandami comes out and he spends more time condemning the person who had a nail bomb thrown at him than the person who threw the nail bomb.
Crema yogurt, so uniquely delicious, it's Cremalicious. Crema you're craving.
Having phantom screens professionally installed in your home can lead to some surprising side effects. Like sniffing the breeze Phantom screens. Say no to stuffy air.
That's the problem. So when I say they, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. Very rarely, they do not, this is a puzzle, right? And so the entire thing doesn't happen through one person, but it's created in a permission structure through an aggregate. And that's an example of it happening this week. Does that make sense? Do you guys see where I'm coming from with this? Hopefully you guys can see this. You think you're a journalist enough? You do not?
Yeah.
Most people on your side believe this. Many people on the right believe all Muslims are bad. Yeah, and plenty of people on the left believe all white people are bad. Does that mean that you should base all of your decisions off of a radical minority of people? I don't think so. That's not what I would do.
Okay. Everyone's joking though. But everybody's not joking though. My concern is that we are vastly approaching like point of no return in our own rhetoric within the community.
And they'll also get banned too. It's another important component. And that's the reason why he's worried about it too.
And I think that it is being furthered by us not addressing it.
I'm forced to ask myself, how is this, if YouTube is going to kick off people like we've seen them kick off, why is this tolerated?
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we introduce new things, so I don't know. I don't know what the monoculture is.
People are going to claim, yeah, but this guy's not famous. He's not. No one really knows who he is. That's why. But
the problem is that the people that aren't famous are the ones doing the actions. They're like shock troopers. They go out and effectively put their lives on the line, and then everybody else tries to run defense for them, and then view them as a good actor. I think that's what happens.
how is that even relevant?
Yeah.
And multicultural, which have
it's a bad action no matter what.
A monoculture into which people are encouraged to buy in and integrate, they've instead created a society in which people are encouraged to see themselves as members of an individual community.
Yes, fails to see that he is the very thing.
Apparently, I didn't clean this one up enough.
About 40 died, but this is what I hate about these people: is like they make a career.
Yeah.
Right.
Career about what?
They make a career out of violent and aggressive politics, and riling it up, stoking it up.
And this is their rationality: is that they think that the politics are aggressive, and the politics being aggressive rationalizes their aggression. That's what they're thinking.
So therefore, we should take them out because they're riling things up. They're too full of hatred, so we should hate them.
That's the idea. Yes.
And then they're like, "Oh, thank you for letting me discuss the ideas and ruining your fucking country with all this bullshit."
Oh, so they're ruining your country. The Constantine can't have concerns about people ruining his country.
Yes. I think that concepts like England were created in order for monarchs to consolidate power in their kingdoms.
And if this continues, it will only get worse.
And this could have gone very differently. How do people get to the point of what you're saying in this video? Well, it comes down to the laws of narrative. There's always going to be people that wish you harm. You just have to learn how to spot.
The problem is that people like this used to just be completely sidelined by society and institutionalized, if not beat up and killed. That's the reality, is that crazy people that were violent and aggressive back in the old days used to hit their head with rocks to let the demons get out. Like that's what used to happen to these people. Like that's the reality. We don't live in that barbaric society anymore, but we've gone so far to the other side that we allow these people to. No, I mean, like you can laugh at it, like say it's crazy, but like it's true. Like these people need to be institutionalized for their own better judgment, right? Like it's for their own best interest that they're institutionalized.
And if you're interested in these concepts, I do have a book coming out in August. I've been working on this for 2 years. I began writing it.
Yeah, crazy take, but true. Yeah, it is.
Teacher. It's meant to be more of a methodology. The reality is we have opponents every day. Want it to be that kind of book that people carry around in their bag and it's like wrinkled up because they're using it. And it's all marked up with annotations and notes. It examines
I'll link you guys the video.
The laws of narrative and how narrative leads people to what you're seeing in this video. The lessons I have found most valuable. So I'll put the link below if you're interested.
I think that a big component to it too. I like Warren. I've watched a couple of his videos before, and so you guys can take a look at it. They're also called When Eugenics Was a Thing. Yeah, exactly. Like these are the people that literally got lobotomies. Like they actually just lobotomized these people because like a civilized Western society cannot tolerate a person with no sense of self-control. Like you can't have a high trust society with people that don't have self-control. It's impossible to do that because if you do, then everything turns to shit. They're a threat to society. They are. They're a massive threat to society, and they are very dangerous because if you let them go and run wild, what happens is that they become even more violent and they hurt other people. And I think that the biggest issue with what happens is that when they do something like that, people think, oh my God, how could we have known this? It was so obvious. It was so completely fucking obvious. Electric shock treatment too? Yeah, it was. And so I wish more people thought like that. And I don't think that we should lobotomize them or anything else. I just think that we need to institutionalize these people and keep them safe not only from everybody else, but also from themselves. These people will end up getting themselves killed. The guy in the video deleted his YouTube or maybe he got banned. I don't care about that. I don't care about him getting banned. It doesn't matter to me. What I do care about is making sure that people like that are institutionalized in a way that makes it to where they're not able to do anything wrong, right? I mean, that's what really matters. The other stuff is kind of irrelevant to me, if you want me to be honest.
Our picks are in. We're out watching the game. When we decide, Biggest Winner chooses where we go next. Turns out, betting with friends can send the night into overtime. Make things interesting with Proline.
Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, the most ungrateful person you can imagine.
Well, this might end up being a moment that the government regrets. The Liberals are much closer to a majority that nobody voted them in for, and it might actually be the worst thing that's ever happened to them. Some activists tried removing Premier Danielle Smith. That did not go as planned, and apparently carbon taxes and the Liberal government are helping us thrive. Industry is booming. Unfortunately for the ministers claiming this, though, the facts tell a very different story. Same with Mark Carney on a podcast
sections are looking like they're pretty much ready to go in.
Until he started to remember what it was that he was actually bragging about and what it means. The whole world is paying a lot of attention to Canada right now, and it's not for a good reason. I'm Jasmine Lane. Like, share, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below. And as always, give me a follow on other platforms as well. I wanted to start today's episode with something a little off topic, but a bit of a personal passion project for me. I think it's cool news. You may not, but take a listen.
They're showing a massive female great white swimming off the coast of Vancouver Island.
A fun little personal tidbit of information about me. I love sharks. I have been studying them since I was 5 or 6 years old. I think I inherited it from my father, and I love seeing stuff like this. I really do. And there's lots of people who will shout climate change, warming oceans, and to me, I just say sharks are such a brilliant addition to any ecosystem. But nonetheless, there were some scientists tracking white sharks in the Pacific, and they found a 5-meter female who they've named Kara that is in the waters off of southern British Columbia. Shark behavior and migratory patterns are entirely driven by food sources and availability. Where prey goes, predators will follow. So a very friendly reminder, if you live in BC or you're visiting, just to keep that in mind. If there's one, there's likely more to follow, perhaps in larger numbers. And we saw that as well on the East Coast a number of years ago, and now they have white shark tours. As per usual, things are always changing. Data is always changing and pointing people in the right direction, or sometimes the intentional wrong direction, which is going to get us into the rest of today's topics.
The position of the New Democratic Party on Fleur Crossing is long-standing and clear. To us, the decision of voters at the ballot box is a sacred trust. And if a member of parliament wants to override that decision, we believe they must go back to the voters and make that case to them and receive a renewed mandate.
As you may have already heard, Prime Minister Mark Carney is very, very close to achieving his majority government that nobody voted him in for after Nunavut MP Lori Idlout crossed the floor from the NDP to join the government. This was rumored previously, and of course, she shot it down. But that puts the Liberals 170 seats in the House of Commons, just too short from the 172 required for a majority. There are 3 separate by-elections taking place on April 13th in ridings previously held by Liberal cabinet ministers Bill Blair as well as Chrystia Freeland, and then, of course, the riding in Terrebonne, which could go either way. Those other 2, though, are definitely considered pretty safe Liberal seats. So if those results hold, the Liberals would reach their 172 for a majority government.
Was there anything that happened within the NDP caucus that would have pushed Lori out as opposed to drawing her to the Liberals?
In these times, Canada needs New Democrats more than ever. People are losing their jobs. People can't access health care. They can't afford rent or to buy a house. They can't put food on the table. Working people are being left behind. And New Democrats will never stop fighting for working people and improving the lives of them across Canada.
Lori, what did the government say to get you to cross the floor? What did they tangibly promise you? More consultation, specific asks? Like what incentivized you?
Like with any complicated issue, it wasn't just one thing that happened. There were a variety of many things that have allowed me to really reflect on this, and I'm very thankful to be so workable.
There may have been a few things happening behind the scenes that would have convinced Lori to make this decision after being so vehemently against it, such as just the last couple of weeks, actually. January 5th, $8.5 million for linguistic education in Nunavut was given. On the 30th, $250 million to build 750 homes in Nunavut. February 6th, $600,000 for digital literacy in Nunavut. On the 19th of February, $228 million for a series of projects in Nunavut. March 4th, $6 billion in trade infrastructure funding Nunavut. And of course, on March 10th, she officially crosses the floor to the Liberals after all of those favors were granted. Naturally, this happening again is going to draw a lot of criticism, questions, concerns, and complaints from Canadians who are wondering, what about that whole democracy thing? That's not who I voted for. What's going on here? Well, here is another floor crosser, Chris D'Entremont, and here's what he had to say to try to tell you to shut up and stop complaining about what they're doing for power.
The party.
Party. We don't elect one direction or another. We elect someone that we feel that can represent our riding, and it's up to that member of parliament to make a decision of what they feel is going to be best for their riding, and that even means changing parties if they feel that would be better for their constituents.
Most voters, contrary to what Chris D'Entremont is saying there, do indeed cast their ballot heavily based on the party platform, the party leader, and the party ideology. Not for the random individual in their community who they usually don't really know that much about. So when an MP campaigns under one banner and